sleepless nights I lay awake thinking about the future while you lie in bed.
Hi everybody, welcome to the Comments from the Peanut Gallery podcast. I'm joined here today with two very, very special guests, two of the biggest stars in the UFC, one of them being one of the top contenders in the light heavyweight division, Mr. Anthony Lionheart Smith, as well as UFC bantamweight Jonathan Dragon Martinez. How you doing today, gentlemen?
Good.
Really good. Well, thank you guys very much for taking the time today to stop on by with us and just kind of share with us what's going on for you and open it up a little bit.
Awesome.
So, Jonathan, to start off with you a little bit, can you tell people out there where they can follow you on social media?
They can follow me on Instagram, Martinez3 Jonathan, and Twitter, Dragon3 Martinez.
Okay, awesome. How about yourself, Anthony?
All my social media handles are all the same. It's Lionheart A Smith. That's on Instagram and Twitter. I also have a Facebook fan page. It's Anthony Lionheart Smith. So go follow those, and it's where I put out all the content and all the stuff leading up to my fights.
Well, thank you very much for that, Anthony. And for everybody out there listening and following along, Anthony has a big fight coming up on June 1st.
Yeah. I'm going to Stockholm, Sweden. I'm going to be fighting Alexander Gustafsson in his hometown. So I'm excited. I've never been to Sweden before. I hear lots of good things about Stockholm. And it's an opportunity to get back in that number one spot in the division. I believe Alex is still the number one contender, regardless of his loss to John Jones. And both of us are kind of in the same position. Our last fights were for both of us, were losses to John Jones. And I think that, mentally we're probably both in similar situations where, we want to get that monkey off our back. It sucks to sit around without, with a loss. It sucks your last fight is a loss. It's a lot more comfortable, relaxing in between fights when it's off of a win. So, I don't know about Alex, but I'm hungry. And I'm ready to get that number one spot back.
We might as well call you the world traveler. I mean, you mentioned downtime or rest in between fights, but you don't really have that either. You've had about five, 6 fights in the last almost calendar year, where you've been all around the world. You've been over in Europe. This is going to be your second trip to Europe. You fought in Canada. And just to kind of parlay that, your most recent fight was abroad too as well, down in Australia.
Yes, sir.
How does that feel for you guys in prep, knowing that you have such kind of this, I don't want to necessarily say burden with the travel, but an obstacle, if you will, knowing that it's that long of a flight, crossing the pond and everything?
It wasn't really that bad. Pretty much just sleep the whole flight out there. I felt really good. I didn't feel nothing different really.
No jet lag, no anything like that? No. Didn't experience anything there?
No, I felt really good.
Do you feel like there's less pressure on you when you're not fighting like close to home?
Not really. Like, I feel good. Like, honestly, just to me, I feel like it's another sparring day. So I don't really get as nervous. It just looks fake to me, like fighting in the UFC now. So.
That makes sense. I always I fight better on the road.
Okay.
When I don't have a bunch of there's not 300 of my family and friends, in the arena. You got people want to hang out the week of the fight. They want to go to dinner. They want to see you. I just tend to fight a lot better on the road. It's almost like I'm just working. I go in, do my job, and get the fuck out. I don't have any responsibilities. Especially this one. This is Alex's hometown. He's the one that's gonna have all the media obligations. The fans want to see him. I got a lot of fans in Sweden, but that's his area. So no pressure on me. I just go in and fight. I don't have to worry about all the other BS that goes along with it. So and that's how I feel fighting on the road. I like it. I like it a lot.
Now, you two are at a couple of different points as far as where your career is at overall within the UFC right now. Over the course of the last year, since basically it's been about a year since we first sat down for the first podcast, that we didn't know office or anything like that before, so I'm kind of making some moves here. But how much do you just personally feel that your brand or star power, if you will, has grown within that time frame?
Man, it's crazy. It's crazy how much has happened. in the last year. I don't remember who I was getting ready to fight last time we talked.
Rashad.
Yeah, it was all right. So it was the last time we talked. I was getting ready to fight Rashad. It was my first fight at 205. I think I was coming off of a loss then to Thiago Santos, who, crazy turn of events, is getting ready to fight John Jones for the 205 title. I think my move to 205 gave me an opportunity to really kind of let the fans in and show them who I really am. With the exposure that I've gotten in the last, a little more than a year. I think that, June 9th will be a year. That was when I fought Rashad, so not even quite a year, I guess. It just gave me the ability to for the fans to like come into my life a little bit, and since they have, I'm the blue collar guy, and I think that that's why people relate to me so much. I'm just a regular guy. I just happen to have an extraordinary job. I'm no different than anybody else, and I think that that's people are starting to see like I'm the same guy that will sit next to you at a bar and have a beer with you. I'm spend my free time with my family camping and riding four-wheelers and side-by-sides and drinking beer with my friends at seafood boils out in the country. Like I do regular shit. I don't do anything crazy. Pheasant hunting. I pheasant hunt. I deer hunt. I do regular people things, and I think that in the last year the fans have been able to see that, and I think that's why people have attached themselves to me.
Oh, definitely. Well, me just as a fan and someone who follows and covers things from within the sport, the circulation or the frequency, if you will, that your name and your likeness has popped up has been, it's almost been an exponential increase since the Vulcan fight.
Mm-hmm.
So, I love seeing that.
Mm-hmm.
You've always been nothing but nice to me. We've always had, a good dynamic here. So I just love seeing you succeed in that way or seeing that grow on your side. Jonathan, for you, with this being in the earlier stages of your career within the UFC, how do you feel like you're becoming more acclimated with the media side of things, with sort of speaking? I know it's not your favorite thing in the world to do, but do you feel like now that you've had a couple of runs through with it that it's starting to get a little bit easier in those environments? No. It's still a challenge.
Well, what is it about the media that or just the media stuff or public speaking or whatever it is, what is it that bothers you the most?
I just get really nervous, because I feel like they're just gonna make fun of me and just
Are you afraid of saying something stupid?
yeah, that's pretty much.
Why?
I don't know. I guess since I was little, because my first language was Spanish, so I had to talk English. So I wouldn't know what to say. And a lot of people make fun of me. Oh, this guy doesn't know how to do this and that. And since that, I just pretty much in school I would try to get in trouble before I wouldn't talk in class and all that. So I was always in trouble because I didn't want to be around people.
So you would try to go that route, so you would get almost like the equivalent of isolation in school, or they put you in the corner or whatever.
Yeah. So I'd rather do that than talk.
Are you like that with your when you're just around just your family and stuff?
No, I talk to them good.
You're more open with them?
Yeah, I'm more open there. If I meet new people, it's hard for me to talk to them and stuff.
Right. That makes sense. Do you feel like here at Factory X you're starting to open up a little bit more?
Yes.
Other than when Mark wanted you to speak to the whole team or whatever, but just in general in your interactions with the team, when you first came here, I think it was months before you ever even talked to me, and now I feel like we chit chat all the time.
Yeah.
I feel like at least with me, you're more open and we have conversations and we chit chat. But I don't know how you are, I guess, with the rest of the team. Do you feel like you're opening up slowly?
Yeah, little by little. Pretty much still talk to the regular ones. But I see the other ones just shake their hand, but I don't start trying to conversate with them. I don't know why. I'm always like that.
I think that with the culture here at Factory X, I think no matter what, people are gonna flip you shit, and I think that's what keeps us so close here. Is no matter who you are, whether it's me, as Anthony Smith, the light heavyweight world title challenger, there's still no fight amateurs that will flip me shit. Whether it doesn't have to be fighters. There's people in the open classes that give me shit, and I give shit back to them. I think that that joking, playful atmosphere that's here, it definitely is. It's definitely good for the team. It keeps things fun and like the greats say, keep it playful. But I would imagine for someone like you, that's probably like, God damn, everyone's always messing with me all the time, constantly heckling me and giving me shit. But it kind of forces you to have to come out of your shell.
Yeah.
You don't have a choice because it's not malicious.
Yeah, like,
You know, it's not. No one's making fun of you. You know, it's more just flipping each other's shit. You know, that's just how it is, no matter what.
yeah, like yesterday, those 10 minutes, it was like the worst 10 minutes ever. I didn't know what to say, and then, I don't know. I was thinking the whole time. I didn't really I want to sleep like at 4 in the morning, just by thinking about that.
Just nervous.
Yeah, I didn't want to come out to Chris that I'm just gonna stay here.
Just didn't even want to come and do it at all.
Yeah, man. This whole week and last week too, I was just like so nervous too. I was like, man, I gotta do that next week. I feel like I was in school, back in school.
You think it's good for you though, being
Yeah.
forced into doing stuff like that and sitting here doing this podcast and.
I think it's harassment. No, I'm joking.
But I mean, obviously, you know, with that, you know, with your career, you know, that is an aspect of it in, you know, interacting with media and with, you know, just outlets in general in some capacity, whether it be media done for sponsors to just your own personal media for UFC stuff and scrums and all that. Do you feel like it's something that you need to continue to place an emphasis on, you know, breaking down those walls, if you will, so that you're a little bit more comfortable when the time comes as it grows?
Yeah, it's pretty much just gonna help me out. It's just hard for me, like, just start panicking.
Do you think it's something that the more frequently that you continue to do it, it might get better? I know you said it's still kind of something that you still have that same sort of aversion to or same sort of level of anxiousness, but do you think that will kind of fade through time?
Yeah, I think it will. Just need to keep doing it. But not in front of everybody.
It's not for everybody. Well, I mean, it is a little, I feel like it's a little bit easier to kind of get used to it in this sort of environment where it's just the few of us and there's a camera, you know, there's not 50 other people here in the room or, you know, however many people were here like for practice last night, you know, around that general number. Probably a little bit easier, right, than having all the eyes on you.
Yeah, because everybody's just looking at me and I'm just like, I don't even want to look up, just keep looking down.
Just gotta picture them all in, you know, and just underwear.
Picture them all naked. And you start laughing at them all. You know, next time we do that, we're gonna just have the whole team show up naked, just so we're the ones that look stupid. When I first started doing press conferences, you know, I've always been pretty good with the media. I guess just in general, I've always been a people person, so I mean I can talk to anyone. Because honestly, at the end of the day, I don't give a shit what you think. Like, if you think I say something stupid, like, oh well. But especially with the media, I always got to remember, like especially big media, like MMA Junkie, you know, ESPN, all those guys, like, they're covering MMA because they can't do it. You know, like, if those guys could fight, they would. So, like, they're there to see us. You know, it's not the other way around. It's not like you get the opportunity to talk to MMA Junkie, or you get the chance to talk to Ariel. Like, he gets the opportunity to talk to you. You know, like, we're the product. So, you know, if you look at guys like Mike Perry says stupid shit all the time, but people love it because that's just who he is, you know. So when I first started doing press conferences, that was a little bit daunting because you're up there with all these, you know, huge name people, and you know, the arena's packed with fans and all the media's there, and like, I remember my first time, like, I was really, really nervous, and then I just started thinking, like, and like, these people are here to see me. Like, it's not the other way around, you know. And at the end of the day, they don't really care what you say. They really don't. They just want to know who you are, and that's what I tried to put forward out there. That's why I talk about, you know, what I do in my spare time and who I really am. That's all they really want. They just want to know what kind of person you are. But I do get the feeling that the more that you shy away from them, the more they're going to push themselves on you. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want the narrative to be, Jonathan won't talk to us, he's too shy. You know, because then it's going to just keep building on top of that, because then you're going to be the shy guy, and then people are going to start pushing themselves on you. So if you just answer the question as honestly as you can, you know, I mean, I feel like fight questions are probably pretty easy to answer. feel about this guy?
Yeah.
Where's he dangerous at? What do you want next? I mean, those are pretty simple questions for the most part. It's when the media starts getting into the drama and he said, she said, and you know all that bullshit. That's where it gets tough for me. When you really want to say like,
You still do well with it.
yeah. I mean, I have to flirt with that line of like what I really want to say and what's responsible. You know, because there's a lot of times where I'm like, man, fuck that guy. And that's where the Lou Rocco thing came out, where I just didn't have a second to like pull myself back. That's where you'll get into problems. But I think
That was like a spark in a field of dry grass.
Yeah.
I loved it.
yeah, it was crazy. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially because I've
Don't
personally-
do that
I've
yet.
never liked. I've never been a fan of Luke Rockhold.
No, fuck that guy.
Even way back when, I just always thought that he was very, he's always had an arrogant vibe to him that like, hey man, like you didn't even defend your title once. Like you won it, which it's questionable whether or not he would have still been in that position if Weidman doesn't throw that crazy spinning kick.
Right.
You don't defend, you get knocked out by Bisping. And you've really not, I mean,
And he won
not
one fight
done,
since then.
yeah. And you know, you've won, I mean, you've won more fights basically in your career than he's had total fights. So for a guy like that to come out and say some of the stuff that he has, like, I just think that just adds to my sentiment that, you know, fuck Luke Rockhold. That guy's an arrogant prick.
Yeah, he's a piece of shit. So once we get through this whole being nervous and speaking thing, don't be like Luke Rockhold. Don't do that. So what do you do when you're at home? Like, do you work other than fighting?
No, just train.
Just train?
Train.
Where do you train at?
Gym called Different Breed. It's like 45 minutes away, so I drive every day.
Every day, 45 minutes one way?
Yeah.
No shit. Where's that one at?
That's in Lubbock, Texas.
Lubbock? Were you the only guy in the UFC there?
Yes, there's another guy that's from Bellator, Derek Campos.
Oh, okay, I know him. He's there?
Yeah, he's there.
Nice. You should bring him here sometime.
Fight this weekend. Yeah, I was telling him to come and see.
Oh yeah.
So obviously to address that too, you know, I mean, you have your roots in Texas, but you also spend a lot of time out in LA. You know, for the people who can see with the camera right there, they can see your LA tattoo on your arm.
Yeah.
With the recent, you know, events, obviously with the South Central element to it, you know, were you a fan of Boys in the Hood at all?
Yes.
Movie Boys in the Hood.
Yes.
You know, rest in peace to John Singleton. You know, that I feel like that was an incredible story in general. That one, the movie was fantastic, but the fact that when he created that masterpiece, you guys know how old he was, just off top? 23 years old.
No kidding?
He was 23 when he did that.
That's wild.
So to say that he was able to do something that timeless, like that's phenomenal for that to have been able to have happened. You know, and that on top of all the other, you know, many successful productions that he had throughout the years, but arguably, you know, that's the most, I guess, the biggest cultural impact of anything that he did.
For sure. That's crazy.
So do you like video games, or are you into that?
Not really, I'm just like being outdoors. I like shooting guns.
Like shooting? Okay.
Yeah.
What's your favorite gun to shoot?
Just probably 40. Just like handguns.
Okay.
Is there hunting down there?
Yes, there is, but
You don't hunt at all?
nah.
You like fishing?
Little bit. I get
Little bit?
bored sometimes.
Yeah. It's true.
Yeah, be depending on what kind of fishing that you do that way.
I like going dancing though. But
Really?
The Spanish songs, not English.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, we
Nervous to talk to people, but she'll
yesterday-
dance. Really?
Yeah.
Like salsa dancing and stuff?
Not like norteñas. I don't know. You seen them? You grab them and you spin around.
No shit. So, I've been taking dancing lessons. It was Mark's idea to help my footwork and stuff like that, and I think it has a little bit. But I also am getting married in September.
Congratulations.
So, I wanna be able to dance in my wedding. My wife can't, or my soon-to-be wife. I've been calling her my wife because we've been together for 10 years, but my fiance can't dance a lick at all. She can't dance. She can't sing. I can't dance. I can't sing. But I want to be able to dance in the wedding because I think that she would get a really big kick out of that. So, but my dance instructor's been trying to have me do like some Spanish style dancing. That shit is hard.
Yeah. Yeah. In the beginning, it was hard because
I ain't got no hips. And like a lot of Spanish dancing is like hips and it's fast, and I suck at it. I'm terrible. You have to give me some dance lessons or something.
Yeah, cause we always go like, cause I don't drink when we go out and everything, so we just go to dance. We'll be in the floor pretty much the whole night.
That's crazy.
Just dancing. I had to learn because I didn't like being that guy. Cause back then I had friends like they wouldn't dance, so they'd be sitting down, just drinking and just watching everybody. I didn't want to be that person, so. And I didn't drink, so it was like I was just standing there. So I had to learn how to dance, and then now I just dance with my girl.
Nice.
That's awesome. That's crazy you can do that. Because like I get real embarrassed. Like I can talk to anybody, but even when it's just me and the dance instructor, like if someone else walks in, like for their session, like right after mine, I get all like shelled up and stuff. Like I won't dance anymore, and she's like, "All right, we can be done," because I'm too embarrassed to dance in front of one other person.
Yeah.
Now, do you feel that that's just like your natural like kind of shell as a person, or is that kind of like the overall encompassing thing that you are who you are? A fighter, one of the top fighters in the world, that's in here in this dance studio taking lessons, and do I want someone to see me that way, or is it just like the personal reservation?
I think it's probably the personal reservation. I've just never, I've never sang karaoke because I'm like too embarrassed to. I don't know why, and I've never danced in front of people before, and I think I don't know for whatever reason. I guess I can kind of relate to like how you feel. Like maybe that's how you feel when you're talking in front of people, but like there's no way you could ever get me to sing or dance in front of people. Like I'm working on it, I'm trying, I'm hoping that it works out and I can, muster up the energy to maybe the couple drinks before the wedding will help me out, but I don't know, I'm just not good at it and it's hard. And my neighbor, who's one of my close friends, is also a show choir director at a high school that was right near us, and like we've been talking about like getting some singing lessons or something so I can like sing at the wedding, but not a chance. I'd be too afraid. I'd be too embarrassed.
Now I know you like some singing. We see that on some Instagram stories here and there, or some Snapchat stories, getting in your little yells and everything.
I just like Spanish songs. Like I can listen to Spanish. I listen to English songs, but not as much as Spanish songs.
That's understandable, especially that. I'll tell you what, man, especially some mariachi music, because I grew up down in Pueblo. I grew up around, a very Hispanic heavy culture in general. Like, you could take some of the hardest individuals out there and play some mariachi music, and you'll see some tears rolling down those eyes. You know what I'm saying? Like, that stuff can tell some stories.
That's great. All right, so you shoot guns, dance. How many kids you got?
I got 3 kids.
3 kids. How old are they?
I got a 10, 8, and a 2-year-old.
What are their names?
The oldest one is Cedro, the middle one is Maida, and the younger one is Marcelino.
And what does your wife and them do like when you're here? Do they struggle? They miss you or?
Yeah, they miss me. They'll message me or they'll FaceTime me. And just the little baby will tell me like, come here, and so it's kind of hard a little bit.
Right.
But I'm doing this to get better, so.
You feel like you're growing here?
Yeah, I feel like I got a lot better now. Just rolling with all these top guys. So.
Where do you think you've grown the most?
I'll say like my ground, because when I came in here, I just got choked out left and right. And now like I don't keep up. If I get beat up, I don't really get like disappointed.
Right.
I feel like a lot of people, they get beat up, they don't want to go with that person.
Right.
I want to keep going until I beat them.
Right. So you can figure it out.
Yeah. So that's what like right now, like I pretty much get beat up by everybody. But that's what I think. So my goal is to be better than everybody.
Right.
Even if they're my teammates, I just want to be.
Right. It's friendly competition, right? Me and Mark
Watching
was.
you really is like watching a dragon, or unleashing the dragon, because you're so quiet and timid. But then by the second round in that fight on 234, it was a different animal. Like you just saw aggression. You saw someone who was just looked in their element and was fluid and firing on all cylinders.
What made you start fighting?
I think first is we came from LA. We came to Texas, and I was kind of mad because I didn't want to be in Texas. So I just kept fighting in the streets. So my parents thought, well, let's put you in Taekwondo. So I started doing Taekwondo. I got out of there. when I started working, I was telling my girl, man, look, I want to train with that coach right there. And she was like, well, go ask him. So I was so shy, so I didn't go. And the next morning, she was like, hey, well, I already paid the guy, so you're going to start next day. And I was like, really? I went there for a week. I was getting beat up, so I thought I wasn't going to go no more. So I'm not going to go no more because I feel getting beat up. She was like, well, no, you're going to have to go the whole month because I already paid for the whole month.
Mm-hmm.
So I stuck there and then I was kind of getting the hang of it, so I just kept going on.
And that just led to
Yeah.
fighting and turning pro. And
Yeah,
how long did you fight as an amateur first?
Yes, I did a year in amateur, and then I had a coach. He wasn't really like active. He had problems with his wife, so he shut the gym down. And I already had my pro debut. I was going against the guys 5-2, and I was making my debut. And then we didn't have nowhere, so me and my girl waited for my income tax, and I got some money. And we bought some mats, and we put them in a garage. So like 6 of our fighters, we got trained there for a year.
Mm-hmm.
In my garage, I went 4-0 as a pro.
No shit.
Yeah, just watching YouTube videos and then just grappling there, just looking at everything on YouTube and stuff.
Right.
And after that, I met a coach in Lubbock, and we got real close, so he would help me out. Like, he would give me gas money to go train over. He said, don't worry about it, I got you. So, because he was going to shut the gym down, so he seen us coming that we wanted to train,
Mm-hmm.
so he kept it open for us.
Okay.
Crazy how things sometimes just fall into place.
Right.
Yeah.
You know?
And then, but you didn't live in that same. Oh wait, so it's 45 minutes away from where you live, but in the same town.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It was not the same time. I live in Plainview,
Mhm.
and it was Lubbock, so it's like 45 minutes.
It's crazy.
It's a jaunt every day to make that. But I mean, it obviously that commitment worked out.
Yeah.
So, what do you find, aside from this speaking aspect within the game, what do you find is your biggest obstacle in your career right now?
Like, what do you mean?
Like, what challenges you the most? Like, outside of, like, because we've already said, media is one of the things that you're working on. But what within it? Is it the nutrition? Is it the strength and conditioning? Is it the training itself?
What part do you like? What part do you like the least?
I pretty much like everything, really. Because I enjoy doing cardio and stuff like that. Like, I think the hard part is eating right. Well, I started eating right because Mark got mad at me. So.
Imagine that. Yeah, kind of has a way of changing some things around, huh?
Yeah, because I was eating tacos de lengua, all that stuff. After that, he told me not to no more. So I've been eating good. There's a lot of vegetables, chicken, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been going good now. Losing weight. So.
Awesome. Do you have anything on the books? Any fight talks in the works or anything right now?
Hopefully in July or August.
July and August.
You want to get on the LA card, right?
Yeah, I want to go in that one. I think that's August 17th.
August 17th, UFC. Get my man here on the Anaheim card.
Yeah,
My boy Stipe
Yep.
getting his title back.
Oh, and I think he will. Personally, I think so.
Speaking of that,
I'm
you know what I
one of
like the least about MMA? Politics.
Can you elaborate on that?
God, it's so bullshit. It's not always about how good you are. It's about who you know, and honestly, I'm on the good side of the politics. I really am. The UFC likes me, but I think I've earned that. I fight whoever they want. I'm a company man. I do what's necessary. I fight when I don't want to. I take the fights that they match up. I don't try to politic my way around. But there's a lot of politics in the game that for a long time weren't on my side. You got to work. It's beneficial to have a good manager, but it's not the way the game used to be. It used to be about you just fight your ass off to the top, and that's how it goes. But now you got to kind of play the game a little bit. And sometimes I don't want to play the game. Sometimes I just want to go in the fight. Like UFC's going to be sending a camera crew here pretty soon to do all this filming bullshit, and I don't want to do it. I'd rather just train. I don't want the cameras in my face. It's not that I don't enjoy giving the fans what they want to see. I just don't. Sometimes I just want to be a fighter and get back to the trenches, And I don't necessarily like the entertainment era. I hate the shit talking. I hate the entertainment era that's going on right now.
Makes total sense with that. I mean,
Uh-oh. Messing stuff up.
just shuts at 29 seconds or 29 minutes.
We're 29 minutes in, dog.
Yeah, see, bro, we're
Hell
breaking
yeah.
down some barriers right now. You know, are
Hell
you feeling
yeah.
a little bit more comfortable now that we've talked a little bit?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, see, it's only going to keep on getting better, man.
Hell
We
yeah.
should keep on practicing it. But so, you know, is there any specific, you know, when you're looking at matchups that you're trying to take, is it just pretty much the name that they give you, or are you more inclined to take a matchup stylistically with a certain person or a certain type?
Let's see.
Like, are you looking more to, you know, do you feel like you're more advantaged against a striker, more advantaged against a wrestler, anybody in particular, or you're cool with whoever?
I'm pretty much cool with whoever. 'Cause I think my last guy, he was like a wrestler and took me down, but I kept scrambling, so I felt pretty good.
Okay.
So it doesn't really matter what they give me. So
Is there anyone specific you want to fight? Like when you look at the roster in your division, like what name stands out where you feel like I want to fight that dude?
I don't know. I don't really like calling people out.
Well, I'm not saying call them out, but like there's a couple guys that I like. There's a couple middleweights that I wish I could have been able to fight. Like, you know, I always wanted to fight Uriah Hall. You know, for a long time, I like that matchup. I always wanted to fight Derek Brunson. You know, I never got those chances. But there's guys at 205 that I want to fight. I'm not really calling them out, but like, I really like Glover Teixeira.
Yeah.
But I just like that fight. Like, I think that'd be a fun fight to have. You know, and me and Glover get along. You know, like every time we see each other, we chit chat. You know, if we're not fighting or whatever, we have a drink together. But I think that's just like a fun matchup. You know.
I wanted to ask you too, just because it just popped in my head. You mentioned him, but Jacare popped into my head.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're obviously you're close with Jacare.
Mm-hmm.
He unfortunately he didn't come out on top this last weekend. But you mentioned Mike Perry earlier. Did you hear the story about kind of how Jacare saved his life?
Yeah, what happened there? I didn't hear the whole story, but something. Mike Perry got caught up in a.
In a rubber band, so like workout bands, you know, like that
Right.
you would set on like a pull-up bar or something like. This is the way that I interpret it from the way that they were describing
Right.
it. Is they had like a band on one of those, and Perry had put it like on his head and was trying to do like a neck workout, and then it slipped down and got to his neck, and then the rubber band cinched up while on his neck,
Right.
and Jacare basically walked into him like.
Like
Out.
going out, yeah.
Yeah, because the Platinum Princess, Mike's wife, had said that like she was kind of like Mike, stop playing, and then Jacare walks in because the UFC was doing media covering him,
Right.
and then Perry, according to him, says the next thing that he knows, he's getting like smacked by Jacare, like waking up. He said something happened in that meantime. He said I just made a terrible mistake of where I put the band and it tightened up on my neck and I almost killed myself, almost hung myself.
That's crazy.
So that's crazy. So shout out to Jacare for literally saving a life.
That guy is just so damn cool. He's like one of the. Me and Jacare kind of go way back to the Strike Force days. The first time I met Jacare, I would have been like 21 or 22. We were fighting on. We fought on a couple Strike Force cards together, and like I was just this young, super young pro. I only had a handful of fights. Jacare was fighting for the Strike Force World Title. He'd fought Rockhold, fought Brunson, and I mean he was just fucking people up. He was a monster. But like he looks super, super mean, and if you watch him fight, he gives off this persona like he's just a serial killer. But if you talk to him, one of the nicest dudes you'll ever meet. I mean, like, just genuinely loves jiu-jitsu. And I've been a jiu-jitsu guy my whole career. And so I was already a huge fan of Jacare before I'd even seen him fight or anything, just because of his jiu-jitsu. He beat Haja Gracie, he beat Fabrizio Verdum. Oh, excuse me. And, I remember the first time I met him, he was just, back then he was younger too, so he was just shredded, like, just, I mean, you could wash clothes on his abs. I mean, he was just yoked. And like we had just weighed in, and like we sat down, and like his English was terrible. We had a coach that spoke English, and like we sat there for like 45 minutes the first time, like just talking about BS, like just bullshit, like anything and everything, but like through a translator, And then from then on, like every time we seen each other, like we didn't always have a translator, but it was always like that mutual like, you know, we'd always hug, like, yeah, you know, how are you? And we'd figure it out. And then he moved to the States. We fought together on the Kansas City card, and like we hadn't seen each other for a long time, and like a long time. I hadn't seen him since the Strike Force days. I ran into him once or twice, but I hadn't seen him in like probably 5 or 6 years. And then he fought on the Kansas City card, and I fought too. He had fought, and like I don't think we'd seen each other all fight week, and like he was getting off the bus and I was getting on, and he was like on the way there actually. It was on the way to the event, and he was like, "Hey, Strike Force," you know, and he remembered, and it was super awesome, man. And then we just seen each other at the Atlanta press conference, and his English is so good now. Mm-hmm. You know, we can have full conversations, and man, it was just really. We shared a car to get to the airport, and it was just really cool to see that guy again. Man, I just wish. Damn, I wish he would have won. You know what I mean? Like, the guy's just had such a long, storied career. He's just one of those dudes, he just deserves it. You know, and he says he'll be back, you know what I mean? And I don't think he might be 1 or 2 fights away from getting a title shot now, maybe more, but I think he's a lot like me. I don't think he's going to stop until he gets it.
That's understandable. There's been a large shift in the tide, I feel like, in the 185 division. There's been, you know, a new wave of some guys kind of coming up and pushing the envelope there. With him kind of being in those latter stages, do you think that on the matchmaking side of you, because you already brought up the politics end of things, do you think that now at this point, after him taking that loss, it's going to be a tougher road for him to get back to that contender spot?
Yeah, probably. You know, there's just so many young guys, he's going to have a tough time. But, you know, I think for Adesanya, if he can get there, he can win it. And I've always said this, you know, like, it's not always winning the title. You know, it's different for me because John Jones is the champion, so that's a tough fucking road. But it's not necessarily like winning the actual, like the fight itself isn't the hardest part. It's getting there. It's hard because there's so many killers on the road there, you know, and you know, Jacare's finding that out because he had a decent fight with Whitaker. You know what I mean? Like, he can win that fight. That would have been a good rematch from the Kansas City card. But, you know, I think he's a great matchup for Adesanya. You know, he's towards the tail end. You know, he's 40 years old.
Right, exactly. So that's what I say, you know,
he might be older than that.
But they have reservations putting a guy like that in a title position, knowing that you maybe, because they're thinking long term.
You know, I don't think so. I think that Jacare's so popular. I think that he still draws, and I think when it comes down to it with politics, it's about money. But he's still super popular. People still love Jacare. The problem is he's been put in those situations a couple times, and he's kind of dropped the ball. He was there with Romero and lost that fight.
Gastelum as well.
He was there, yeah. He was there with Gastelum. He was there with, and you know, he fought Whitaker before Whitaker was the champion. He lost that one. You know, and then he comes back. He beats Weidman. You know, it's just he gets so close. It's like Bisping. Mm-hmm. You know, Bisping got really close a couple times and lost it, and then finally got his opportunity. You know, so we'll see.
I want to ask your opinion on the both your opinion for that matter, on the Dustin Poirier situation. You know, a guy who kind of took the Bisping road as well, just like you mentioned, was, you know, chipping at that edge for the longest time, and then just never really kind of got over the hump to get within that contender spot, and then finally got his chance, and then, you know, ultimately prevailed. Obviously, still has to, you know, try to unify against Khabib, which is a tall order. But just the fact that, you know, I mean, he now has the interim recognition, so that's something that's forever, you know, his name is forever etched in history. What is your thought on that?
I was going for him.
Yeah, I'm just happy he won. Honestly, it's always good, and not that Max Holloway's not a good guy, but it's always good to see like a genuine good guy get one. You know, it's just he's had a tough road, man. I mean, from the starting with the Conor days, and, that dude's had a tough road.
Couple injury setbacks.
Yeah, I mean, he's just a good dude. It's good to see good things happen to good people. And like I said, not that Max Holloway's not a good guy, because he is. Excuse me, but you know, Max has had his glory, and he still got a title. So it's like, it's kind of a win-win. You know, Poirier gets his title, Max doesn't lose the title. So I think that for good in the world, overall, I think that was the best case scenario. What'd you think of the
I
fight?
loved it. Yeah, what'd you think?
Yeah, I really like that. I was hoping for him to win, but he won. But I wanted him to win because he's been knocked out, he's been beat, so he was waiting for that. So.
What do you think of the style matchup, like his approach?
He was a lot. I thought he was a lot bigger than Max, so he pretty much pushed him, kept picking up the pace and got him tired and rocked him a couple times.
Yeah. I was surprised at the power difference. Like, Max is that guy, he's just a volume guy. And people have landed, Jose Aldo landed big shots on Max too. But the bombs, like the physical reaction of seeing Poirier hit Max and how his body reacted, like seeing him cover the shots but still get moved 2 feet, and god damn, it was amazing to see the power difference in that fight. I mean, and for Max to be able to take those shots and still stay awake, super impressive. But you don't want to do that too many times in your career.
You only have so many of those big hits.
Right, you only got so many of those in you. So
it was a very, very different body composition look for the both of them for the first time that they fought. Obviously, Max was all of 19, 20 years old for the first time that they fought, and Dustin, that just as young in that side of things.
Right. Which is crazy that someone's got Max Holloway's number. That's what's crazy. Like, not only is it a feat to beat Max once, Dustin Poirier did it twice.
Do you think, though, that in your opinion, if you will, kind of like muscle maturity to it in that sense, that the fact that Dustin has been up at 55 for a couple of fights now and his body's kind of acclimated and he's had the time to adjust the power?
It's different when you move up, and it takes a while to like grow into your weight class, and I don't just mean by size, but like, the first time you move up and then you get hit, you're like, God damn, like, this is different.
Happened to me.
Yeah, this shit's different. I mean, it's just, you're like, it's just 10 pounds, or it's just 20 pounds. God damn, it makes a big difference.
And I asked
Did
you
you
that
move
especially
up?
because you
When my debut in the UFC, I had to do it at 35, because I was at 25.
Oh, yeah.
So I took that one, and I'll punch him. It was just, he'll punch me and he'll move me. And because I think first round he dropped me twice.
Did you stay at 35?
Yeah.
So you're not going back down to 25?
No, they said they're going to cut it, so I had to stay at 35. Because I got dropped first round twice, and second round, I beat him up the whole round, took him down, beat him up. And then third round, I was just tired. So
Where was that at?
That was the same card.
Yeah, where were we?
Canada.
Canada. I fought Vulcan.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Yeah, you took that on super short notice, right?
Yeah, it's 2 week notice.
Yeah, we were in the same locker room.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
crazy how past.
Well, he was so quiet, I was like, man. I remember thinking, like, this motherfucker looks scared. Like, he just wouldn't talk. I was like, hey, man, good luck, or whatever. And he was just like I remember I went to fist bump him, and I was like, hey, man, good luck. And he was like, like he wouldn't look at me. He just, like, fist bumped me and turned away. And I was like, I think this dude's scared or something. Mark was like, I don't know. And then he went out there and was just scrapping. I was like, maybe he's just quiet. Because he ain't scared to look at this motherfucker fight.
Right.
I remember when me and Mark were watching from the back. We're like, God damn, this kid's tough. And it's just crazy. Then you ended up here.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
It is. I've learned more and more just in my time, and obviously you guys have, a lot more years in the game in terms of connections than I've made just with my relationship here. It's not as big of a world as people think that it is.
Mm-hmm.
Paths or circles are very small and tight knit, and
Well, especially in this game.
exactly.
Circle's so small.
And then, I've learned so much more within this last year, how you had mentioned, kind of on the politics end of things and management relationships, how those sort of things kind of, play into the future things that you see. Because now, I can go back and I'll have conversations with buddies or whatever, just the same guys, guys who have came and watched fight nights at the house for, the last 10 years, whatever. And they're saying, I think that. It's like, nah, don't think too far along those lines. If this happens, be more ready for this to be the narrative, because this person who lost to, said guy is then also managed by the same person who handles this one. Adversity kind of presents itself in the situation, might not be there. Just like how, a narrative that could have potentially came up with your fight, say you beat John Jones. You play hardball with John Jones getting that rematch because Stipe didn't get the rematch.
Exactly.
Exactly.
That's where it comes down to, where, like, Probably, because Stipe is my boy. So it's like,
Shout out to ASTR.
right, it almost makes you want to be like, well, no, like they fuck Stipe. So like, why does John Jones get one? If Stipe doesn't deserve one, who the fuck does? So, I mean, that's where the politics comes in. You know what I mean? Where it's like sometimes people get screwed and like you don't even realize that you're pissing off other people. You know, like not that many people know that like me and Stipe are tight. Like we're not like we don't live in the same city. We, you know, and we're both the type of dudes where we're not like fucking Facebook and pictures of each other. You know what I mean? Right. But yeah, I mean, that shit happens a lot. Like there's a lot of shit that goes on there. It's really just, you know, like if the UFC fucked me over, like Chris Weidman would be mad about that. You know what I mean? Or like Stipe would be mad about that. Or like people don't know the connections that everybody has. You know, so.
I believe it was Ariel's show that you were on that you had talked about that directly. Like, no, well, if Stipe didn't, why should John?
Right.
And
it's like we got each other's back.
Chat boards.
People are like, whoa, what happened there? Like, why? Like you don't know the people that people know. Like,
that's right. Well, I mean, I knew at that point why, just from knowing, but you know, all the people out there and all the comment boards and all that were just blowing up and just like, interesting.
Right.
It's cool to see chess pieces moving from that end of things.
Well, and fighters will stick up for each other. The ones that are close. Like, I'll never stick up for Luke Rockhold, but like, I'll always stick up for Chris Weidman. I'll always stick up for Stipe. You know, like, there's behind the scene things that happen where like if the UFC fucks up Jonathan, like, I'm not cool with that. You know, so like, if they're gonna ask me for something, I'm like, no way. You know, give Jonathan his fight back, or you know what I mean, like. Fighters play that game a lot, like, and people have no idea, which is cool. It's cool seeing behind the scenes shit like the NFL. It happens in the NFL all the time, you know. So it's cool. Jonathan, you got any final thoughts, bro?
No.
Come on now.
Share something with the people.
Yeah, tell me something that nobody knows about you. We learned that you dance. That's pretty fucking goddamn cool. I'm pretty proud of it. I'm pretty happy I learned that.
It's actually phenomenal. I would have never guessed it.
What do you and your kids do? Like you and your kids and your wife. What do you guys like? Say it's a Saturday. You guys have a full day just to go do whatever the hell you want. What do you guys do?
What do we do? Sometimes we just have cookouts. So
Yeah.
we'll have pretty much every weekend.
Every weekend? That's what we do too.
Yeah, cookouts or usually go to LA, go stay over there with the family.
How the hell you just jet out to LA? It's not even close.
Yeah, I know that's what everybody tells me over there. Yeah, how far is it? It's just 17 hours.
You guys drive?
Yeah.
Oh hell no.
That's a long drive, bro.
Hell
Well, I
no.
like to drive, so
You just like switch time off with with your lady, or like are you driving through straight yourself? Or
just depends.
Gotcha.
I'll let her drive first for like a couple hours, and then I'll drive.
And then what do you guys do in LA?
Just with the family, because I have a lot of family with my mom and my dad's side of the family is over there.
Nice.
So we just go dirt bikes and sort of the mountains and all that. So. And go listen to banda and stuff. People play, so that's pretty.
Oh yeah. All right. We're gonna have to find some places like that in Denver.
Thank you guys so
Get
much
you
for
dancing.
taking the time today. You know, I really appreciate. You know, we've gone on a little bit now. Just got to peel back the layers of the onion a little bit here with you, Jonathan. So
Wait
thank
till
you
Mark
for sharing.
finds out you can dance.
Yep, I think there might be a new.
Well, he's
team
gonna listen to
activity.
this either way.
So
So
he's
either
gonna
I
see
tell him or he's gonna listen to it.
I know.
I can see the sweat.
Right, he's like,
God
"God damn it."
Damn it! I
That's
should've
good
said-"
though.
Yeah, it's good.
You could have danced during the whole thing.
I know. That's what they were telling me.
You should have just danced.
Professor was telling me to do that.
Is there any last parting thought that you want to get out there? Any last call out, shout out to the UFC matchmakers, anybody like that you want to have?
No, not right now.
Well, I'll do it for you. August 17th, UFC out in Anaheim. Get my man on the card. For
sure.
He wants to fight in front of his hometown crowd out there in LA. Anthony has a huge fight coming up over in Sweden on June 1st. Thank you very much, Lionheart, for coming back on the show. I really appreciate your time.
All right. Take care,
Thank you guys
folks.
very much. Have a great one.
sleepless nights I lay awake, thinking about the future while you lie in bed. I'm getting cake, rolling loud Buddha. They ain't enough hours in the day to do what I'm doing. Make felony music so criminals can't get high to it. We ride to it and fly through the sky, moving at light speed, so don't blink, you might lose this spaceship. We ride in that fly shit. You couldn't try this way of living, you die quick. No chance of sleep, I'm wide awake on this night, rolling up my loud in hopes it'll help lower my eyes. Dilated, now I'm faded, mouth real dry. See some Hennessy to wet my tongue, feel real nice. Looking for a baddie, come to bed with me, open the thighs. Let her rub my back as I'm blowing pack, finish the night. Roll big trees, fat sticks, that's a lot of lumber. Sipping mixed drinks, blowing sweet till I achieve slumber. Yeah.